Jackie has recently been involved in a traumatic case involving a young mother, but she seems determined to carry on with her work.
So, you think I'm suffering post-traumatic stress? Is that what you're saying?
You tell me. Do you think you are? The last few months can't have been easy.
But if we're talking post-traumatic stress, let's talk about Steve Barker. 2 Christmases ago, old man wakes up, hears intruders, dials 999. Steve responds, drives as quickly as he can to get to the old man, and a little girl runs out in front of him and he hits her full on. Kills her. That was ages ago, years ago, and he still can't bring himself to talk about it. Last month, PC Young goes up to a boy lying on the curb, asks if he's okay. The boy jumps up and stabs him. And that's it. Career over. He wants out.
Just because you haven't been physically assaulted, Jackie, it doesn't mean you haven't suffered a trauma. Speaking as your welfare officer and considering what you've just gone through, I think you could do with taking some leave.
No, it'll just make things worse. If I'm stuck at home, I'll just dwell on things, give myself a hard time, beat myself up.
Why do you think you'd beat yourself up?
Because I should have saved her. I can just hear the DI. You volunteered, Jackie. If it started getting to you, if you got too involved, you should have told your coordinator, opted out, come up with an exit strategy. Serves you right for getting too close.
I found it. Where? A few inches under. Just below the surface.
Is it a body?
Yeah. Where? Here. See?
You sure it's not a tailor's dummy?
Garth?
Jackie, what are you doing here? I thought you were going on leave.
What's this about a body?
Lady out running said she saw a body in the water just down from the lock. Probably a shop dummy.
Move it towards the bank. Okay.
I thought welfare were going to lay you off with post-traumatic stress. You just had to give them the right symptom profile. Insomnia, irritability, low libido. I've had it for years.
I said I'd rather deal with things by working.
Here it is, Gov.
We take a step towards the edge of the towpath and look down into the water at a long, dark shape, about a foot under, looking as if it can't decide whether to float or sink. And then, just as the divers are about to lift it up, it turns and rises to the surface.
Definitely not a shop dummy.
No, Gov.
We better call forensics and get a pathologist down here as soon as we can.
Right.
Is that the post-mortem?
No, it's from the preliminary.
Why do they always do a preliminary?
Initial findings.
Why don't they just get stuck in?
IC1 male, red-haired, early 20s, suffered a number of blows to head and body. Oh, and this is the odd thing. He was malnourished. Bit weird, don't you think?
Anyone reported him missing?
No one matching his description.
Issue an appeal for witnesses and keep an eye out for mispers.
Gov.
Can't be that many missing blokes with red hair in their 20s. And let me know if forensics find anything at the scene. Oh, and Jackie, do you mind shutting the door?
Gov, if this is about occupational health wanting me to go on leave...
No, it's nothing to do with that. What are you doing this evening?
Why?
I've invited a few people round to meet Liz.
The new girlfriend?
Yeah. You were so helpful when my marriage was going down the tubes. I've been meaning to say thank you.
I wasn't helpful.
Yes, you were. I was the boss from hell, and you were very patient and understanding. I'd love you to come over tonight, if you can.
Patient and understanding? All I did was listen to him go on and on about his divorce. I could have yawned in his face, even spontaneously combusted, and he wouldn't have noticed. What do? Lie and say I'm busy, or tell the truth? that I'd rather spend the evening at home struggling with an intermediate Sudoku.
Yvonne loved this park.
She grew up round here, didn't she?
Yeah. Her family were going to move to Dudley around the time we started going out, but they decided to stay put. Shame. Things might have ended up different.
I'm sorry. Reese, I really am. I knew there was a risk she might do something stupid. But I honestly believe she had the strength to keep going. Because of you, more than anything.
Yeah. Well, maybe we all let her down. She still came here, even after the trial, to sit, watch the kids, punish herself. I think she wished the jury had found her guilty.
Did I say this meal was going to be spectacular or unspectacular?
Spectacular.
Jackie?
Oh, you didn't give me any indication either way.
Have you cooked this recipe before?
Once.
And was it okay?
Almost.
Almost fine, isn't it, Jackie?
Of course.
So stop panicking and get back to the kitchen.
Will do.
So we can talk about you behind your back.
Help yourself to the posh crisps.
Who else is coming?
Most have cancelled, so I hope you're hungry.
I think I've had too many posh crisps.
Peter tells me you do a lot of family liaison work.
Have done, yeah.
Can't be easy. Getting close to the families. Seeing all that emotion and pain. Sorry. Why am I telling you what you already know?
It's okay.
I'm probably trying to butter you up before asking a totally crass question.
What's the totally crass question? It's all right. I don't mind.
I just wondered if you thought the papers were right about Yvonne Fraser. They're saying she killed herself because she was actually guilty.
No.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault what the papers say.
At least the starter's ready.
So how did you meet Peter?
A mutual friend's birthday party. We got on and discovered we were both going through fairly agonising divorces.
My turn to be sorry.
There's a lot of it about, especially in my line of work.
What is your line of work?
Journalism. So maybe it is my fault what the papers say.
Coming through.
Jackie, if you ever feel the need to talk about Yvonne Fraser, give your side of the story, I'd be more than willing to listen.
Can you clear a space? It's somewhat scorchio. Quick. Oh, there. Voila. So, everything okay? You two getting on all right? Can I take that as a yes?
Victim suffered multiple head wounds but died from drowning. So, still alive when he hit the water. 6 foot tall, but only 62 kilos. Toxicology, slight traces of cannabis in blood and urine.
Please leave a message after the beep. Jackie, it's Liz. Peter's just given me your number. I hope you don't mind me calling. You're probably not home yet. Look, I just want to apologise for the way I went on about Yvonne Fraser. It was really tactless. I've obviously worked on too many cheap papers. Peter told me you were involved in the case, and I suppose, like a lot of people, I'm curious. Anyway, I'll shut up and leave you alone. Take care, and it was really nice meeting you. Bye.
Toxicology. Slight traces of cannabis. Take care. Really nice meeting you. I didn't mean to be tactless. Hello.
Oh, Jackie. Sorry. I just phoned and left a message. I was suddenly worried your answer phone hadn't picked it up.
Oh, right. Well, I can see it flashing, so I think it's working.
Oh, good. Well, in that case, I may as well let you listen to the message.
I'll listen to it now.
Right. Night, then.
Night. Dear, oh, Lord.
Thanks for coming last night.
Thanks for the invite.
What did you think of Liz?
She seemed great.
She said she left you a message to apologise.
No, she didn't need to do that.
I think she did. That's the trouble with journalists, always on the sniff.
I really liked her.
She really liked you. I told her you weren't as boring as you first appear.
Thanks.
Anyway, be warned. Meeting you has given her an idea. She wants to write a piece on Yvonne Fraser. I've told her to wait, but she wants to strike while the iron's hot, while it's still topical. She wants to go over all the evidence and see if she can prove Yvonne's guilt one way or the other.
Yvonne's guilt was proved one way or the other.
Well...
She was acquitted.
Yeah, well, as we all know, not guilty doesn't necessarily mean innocent. But anyway...
Gov?
I've told her not to bother you.
Yeah.
Looks like we found something.
1 minute, Terry. Thank you. Look, Jackie, regarding your meeting with Occupational Health... I know I like to pretend I'm old school, bit of a dinosaur. Think the job's never been the same since the introduction of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, and it hasn't. But if they really think you should go on leave...
I've told you, Gov, it's completely unnecessary.
You sure? So what happened with Yvonne? It's all in the past?
Yeah.
Good. OK, well, if anyone asks, I made distinct and sympathetic inquiries regarding your emotional state, yeah? Right. Let's go and see what light forensics can throw on the fascinating case of the corpse in the canal. What is it, Terence?
We found something near the towpath.
Don't worry, Gov. It's all in the past, all right. Every tiny little detail. How pale Yvonne looked when I first met her. The way she fainted when she was finally charged. The tears she cried in court when they wouldn't stop questioning her. Baby Joe seemed well when you put him to bed. Yes. But when you checked him later in the evening, he was hot and distressed. Yes. What did you do then? Dial 999. Immediately? Of course. Because you realised your baby needed urgent medical assistance. Yes. So why, when the paramedics arrived, why did it take you 5 minutes to answer the front door?
Jackie!
I can't remember.
Jackie, come and take a look at this.
Coming, Gov!
I suppose this might have been dropped by the victim. You got me all excited. I thought it was going to be a phone or a wallet.
Sorry.
Or the weapon. I may as well open it.
The forensics officer starts to unwrap a small parcel, carefully pulling at the paper in his white latex gloves.
What is it?
Hold on, Gov.
It's a carving of an old man and a boy, facing each other in a rowing boat. The old man smiling at the boy, who seems to be struggling with the oars. And it's the boy that interests me, with his puffed out cheeks, wrinkled up eyes, and big shock of bright red hair.
And now, the second part of A Small Town Murder, featuring Meera Syal as Police Family Liaison Officer Jackie Hartwell. A body of a young man has been found in a canal, but the police still don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Gov, we've just had a call from someone who may have met our victim day before the murder. Mr. Roberts lives on the canal, says he met a young man in his 20s with red hair.
Where was this?
Mayfield Dock, about a mile from the scene. Mr. Roberts runs a shop selling supplies to the local boating community.
We better send someone down there for a full statement.
I'll go.
I thought you were waiting on a call from missing persons.
Oh, someone else can take it, Gov. I could do with getting out.
OK. Oh, Jackie, you know, I said Liz wants to write an article about the Yvonne Fraser case. Obviously, she knows you were Yvonne's family liaison officer and that you got closer to Yvonne than anyone else. So she's asked me to ask you if you'd be willing to talk to her.
About what?
About what Yvonne was like, and whether you think she was actually guilty.
She was acquitted. What I think is irrelevant.
Well, anyway, She just wonders if you wouldn't mind giving her a quick call.
Amazing. Yesterday he was saying he'd tell her to leave me alone. Now he's asking me to phone her up. Well, sorry to disappoint your new girlfriend, Gov, but I think I'll be keeping my opinions on Yvonne to myself.
Sorry, have you been waiting long?
Not at all.
You need me to open up? What do you need? I'm still waiting on colour gas, I'm afraid.
Dan Roberts.
Yes?
I'm Jackie Hartwell, West Midlands CID.
Oh, right.
I believe you called the office.
Let's go in the shop. It's a bit more private. It might have been the lad who was killed. He was only here for a few minutes.
What did he look like?
20s, ginger hair, beard. I assumed he was a druggie, to be honest.
Had you seen him before?
No.
Not someone living on one of the narrowboats?
No, he could have walked in from the town or been passing through in a boat. I have no idea.
What did he buy?
Nothing. He was selling. Pictures done in charcoal. Boats, canals. They were good, but we're not really interested in things like that. We're a chandlery. We sell tiller pins and antifreeze.
If he was passing through on a boat, where would it have been tied up? I can't believe how quiet it is.
When you think what used to go on here, this is one of the busiest canals in England. Birmingham that way, the Black Country the other, steel and coal coming through in all directions.
Feels like the countryside.
And to think we're only 50 yards from a giant Asda. So, those boats are liveaboards, permanent residents.
Right.
And at the far end we've got moorings for 2 or 3 visitors, but as you can see, they're empty.
And the day the young man came into your shop?
We were busy, so they were probably full. What some boats tend to do is stop around the corner. There's a disused coal yard, a wharf. Sometimes people tie up there.
I look at the names of the boats as I walk past. Lucky Duck, L's Bell, Lock and Roll. What next? Wet Dream. As I turn the corner, I can see what looks like an old coal yard. Brick walls overgrown with ivy, rubble covered in weeds. And there, sitting in the water, right up against the bank, a long, dark green narrowboat that's definitely seen better days. The cabin doors open. Hello? Hello, is anyone at home? Sorry, would you mind popping out so I can have a quick word? I know you're in there, I heard you.
Hold on. Can I help?
Are you okay?
What do you want?
I'm a police officer. I don't know if you're aware, but there was an incident yesterday, a mile or so up the canal. A young man was attacked and killed, and we're trying to identify him. You're not okay, are you? Do you mind if I come in? Are you on your own?
My husband's just nipped out.
Sorry, Sue, is the milk in one of the cupboards?
We haven't got any.
She's told me her name, but that's about all. She sits there watching my every move. And when I put the mugs down on the little table, she flinches. Do you mind telling me why you're so upset? Sue?
I got the radio to work and heard the news. The young man who was killed. I think it's my son.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I found the victim's mother, Gov.
Where?
On a narrowboat just up from Maybury Dock. She showed me a photo. It's definitely him.
What's the son's name?
Paul. But she won't give me his surname. Whenever I ask questions, she just keeps telling me to wait for her husband. It's a bit odd, to be honest.
What do you mean?
She seems terrified of me. I've just spoken to the senior investigating officer. He's coming straight over. Where did your husband go?
To find Paul.
Do you know where he was going to look? Look, Sue, I realise what you must be going through, but at some point you are going to have to start answering questions. We need to know where your son was going, who he was seeing, anything that's going to help us find out what happened. At least give me his full name.
How did he die?
He was attacked while he was walking along the towpath.
But what happened?
He was rendered unconscious before being thrown into the water. I won't tell her he was the victim of a vicious rage attack, that he suffered blows to just about every part of his body. She'll soon get all the gory details. I look around at the little galley kitchen. It's all perfectly clean and tidy, but the whole boat's so bare and comfortless.
Sue! Are you there?
Yeah,
I can't find him.
you've been ages.
He didn't go to my sister's or Louis. They haven't seen him. Something's wrong. Who are you?
I'm a police officer.
Are you here about Paul? What's happened?
Liz, it's Jackie.
Thanks for calling.
I promised the DI I'd phone, so...
Did he tell you I might be writing a magazine article on Yvonne Fraser?
Yeah.
So...
The thing is,
Sorry?
I can't talk for long. I'm about to conduct an interview.
Of course.
The thing is, Liz, a lot happened.
I know.
It was a tough time for me and I need to move on, I really do.
I'm sure.
I'm on another case and that feels good, keeping busy.
Jackie...
And what happened with Yvonne wasn't easy.
Look, the last thing I want to do is pressure you for information. I just want you to know I'm not setting out to try and prove she was actually guilty. My feeling is she should never have been charged in the first place. To lose her baby and then be accused of murder. No wonder she couldn't cope.
I'd better go.
I really appreciate you calling. Bye.
Bye. Oh, what a cow. Why did she have to be so reasonable?
Why won't you talk to us, Carl?
Sue?
We understand how you must be feeling.
I don't think so.
But we don't know why you won't answer any of our questions.
Because we don't trust you.
Cole.
Why?
Because no matter what you say, no matter how many promises you make, you always let us down.
What do you mean?
What promises?
We've got to tell them, love. We can't go on anymore. Please. Love. We know what happened.
I'm sorry?
We know what happened to our son.
You know who killed him?
I need to get some air. Sorry, I need to get some fresh air. About 11 years ago, we were in town, getting out of the car when we heard an argument between a man and a girl. She was screaming and shouting at him, and I can remember thinking, you need to get a grip, mate. You need to sort her out. Show who's boss. And he must have been reading my mind, because that's exactly what he did do. By pulling a gun from his jacket and shooting her.
Did she survive?
Just.
What was the man's name?
Harry Clayton.
You must have heard of him.
Before my time, but yeah. Drug dealer.
Big-time drug dealer. Which is why we started getting death threats.
Were you the only witnesses?
Yeah.
So I assume you were offered protection?
We were told that all measures would be taken to ensure our safety. So, we gave evidence. Clayton got 16 years, and the day after the verdict, 2 men rode up on a motorbike and fired shots through our front window. I got shot in the arm. Sue got cut by the glass.
Why weren't you in a safe house?
We were in a safe house.
It didn't take us long to realise. Clayton's gang were getting information from you lot. So we went on the run.
Is Clayton still in prison?
They let him out last year.
So they've identified their son's body.
And uniform are taking them back to the boat.
What? I thought we agreed they were going into a hotel for their own safety.
They've changed their minds.
They can't. They need to go into a hotel for a few days before we move them somewhere more permanent.
But they don't trust us, Gov. They think they're safer on the boat.
We better get down there. Are they at the boat now?
On their way. It's just round the corner.
Right.
Carl said they'd come back to visit his elderly father, who's seriously ill in hospital, and he says Paul would have been on his way back from visiting his granddad when he was attacked.
So Clayton could have heard the old man was in hospital.
And lay in wait in the hope Sue and Carl would show up.
Why kill their son?
Maybe they started following Paul, and he guessed what was happening and confronted them.
Or maybe his death was nothing to do with Harry Clayton.
Gov,
Yes, James?
we've got a problem. Broken every window.
Should have put the shutters up.
Did you see anyone running off?
No.
There's no way you can stay here, not now.
Please, don't tell us what to do.
But you're not going to be safe. You're going to have to
Do you
move...
think we care? Do you?
Carl.
Why didn't Clayton kill me? He should have killed me or Sue. Why Paul?
Ian. I'll sweep up.
The boat's completely trashed. Not just the windows. Doors have been pulled off hinges, drawers emptied, books and papers scattered. But what upset them the most is what's been done to the outside of the boat. The word die has been painted about 10 times along the side of the hull and on both sides of the cabin in big white letters. And on the roof, they've painted the lines of a coffin with the message R.I.P.
They've even ripped the door off the oven.
Can we glue this?
No.
Sue, can the two of you stop just for a minute? They ignore me and carry on tidying up. It's obvious they want me to go. Carl, please, we need to talk. We've got to get the two of you away from here as soon as possible.
We're not leaving the boat.
If Harry Clayton was responsible, if he knows what your boat looks like...
Of course he was responsible.
...then you're not going to be safe.
It's only me. Right, I've made 1 or 2 calls, and the good news is we don't need a hotel. We can move you straight into a safe house. It's about 20 minutes away. Just outside Solihull.
They don't want to leave, Gov.
They're still going to be at risk, even if they move around.
I'll keep talking to them, see if I can win their trust.
And how long's that going to take? Anyway, Jackie, this is too soon for you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Gov, what do you mean?
Carl.
I just had the hatch up. Looks at the engines. They've cut everything. Fuel supply, electrics. They've even damaged pipework.
How long will it take to repair?
A couple of days.
We'll get you towed to a boatyard.
I can fix it myself, thanks.
Not if it's going to take a couple of days.
I appreciate your concern, but we'd rather you left us alone.
We can't leave you here on your own.
Don't worry about us. You just concentrate on finding Harry Clayton.
Carl, if something happened to you and Sue, we'd be guilty of professional negligence. We'll have to get uniformed down here as security.
Gov.
I'll make the call.
What's too soon for me? I don't understand.
I just think, given what happened with Yvonne Fraser, that you shouldn't go straight into another stressful situation.
This isn't stressful.
I disagree. I'll just phone the duty officer.
Why won't you believe me when I say I'm fine?
OK, why did you tell Liz that you didn't want to talk to her about Yvonne? Because, as occupational health have pointed out, what you went through was traumatic. Now, if you want to deal with things by working, fine. But you're going to have to accept what I, as your senior officer, decide is in your best interests. All right? I'll make that call. It's been a long day. You come in late tomorrow if you want.
According to the leaflet from Welfare, post-traumatic stress disorder can develop after an event involving the threat of death to oneself or to someone else. Can develop, not will develop. If we offered leave to every cop who had been exposed to a threatening situation, we wouldn't have a police force. And anyway, the DI's not worried about my welfare. The chief super's given him stick for what happened to Yvonne, and he's taken it out on me.
Not working today?
Your boyfriend's given me the morning off.
That's kind of him.
I think he'd rather I took a proper break and went on holiday. Do we order at the counter?
I think they come to us. Thanks for agreeing to talk.
That's okay.
I was wondering why you changed your mind.
I was wondering the same. I suppose if you are going to write about Yvonne, I want to make sure you tell the truth.
Why wouldn't I tell the truth?
Because, like everyone, publishers need to make money, and they probably think they'll sell more magazines if you make out she actually did kill her baby. I want to make one thing clear, Liz. This isn't about you and me meeting up for a grand latte and a nice chat.
I know.
I said I was working on another case, trying to move on, but I'm never going to move on. Not really. Yvonne's going to stay with me for the rest of my life, which might make entertaining reading, but it's not entertaining for me.
But you're willing to talk?
If it's all right with her boyfriend.
Reese?
He obviously went through a lot, and it wasn't entertaining for him either.
Was Reese the baby's father? What?
It's okay. It's just that's all part of it, isn't it? If he wasn't baby Joe's father, what does that say about Yvonne?
I'm just going to let the facts speak for themselves.
The medical experts couldn't do that. Over 30 forensic and paediatric experts with all manner of interpretations. The jury didn't know whether they were coming or going.
Some mothers do kill their babies.
But Yvonne didn't. I'll go in order. What would you like?
Why are you so sure she was innocent?
Because, as a family liaison officer, I saw her nearly every day for the 2 months leading to her arrest. And I could tell.
Did you see her after she was acquitted?
Yeah.
How often?
A few times.
Because?
She wanted to see me.
And the day she killed herself? Did you see her then?
So, we found Harry Clayton.
Living in Redditch, and he's more than happy to help with our inquiries. They're driving him over now.
Great.
His probation officer's been telling me he's a changed man.
Meaning?
That while he was in prison, he not only saw the error of his ways, he also saw God. She sounded young and is obviously more interested in rehabilitating offenders than protecting the public, but I have to say, when she was describing Clayton's religious awakening and his conduct as a model prisoner, that she was very convincing. She says he's even forgiven Sue and Carl for testifying against him.
This is a man who dominated the West Midlands drug scene for the best part of 20 years. Was involved in armed robbery, extortion, police corruption. Suspected of nailing the hands of one of his dealers to a park bench. And we're supposed to believe he's had some kind of religious conversion.
Well, best to keep an open mind.
I phoned the hospital.
And?
They wouldn't let me speak to Carl's dad, he's too frail. But the nurse said Paul had been in to visit, and the old man had given him a present.
The carving we found at the scene.
This was a few hours before Paul was attacked and killed, so I'm going to take a look at the hospital CCTV, see if we can see anyone following him out.
Good. But can someone else do it?
Why?
I need you to go back to the boat.
I thought you didn't want me getting involved.
Steve's down there, but they're saying you're the only one they're willing to talk to.
We found Harry Clayton.
Oh, thank God.
So you've arrested him?
We're getting him to account for his movements on the afternoon of your son's murder.
Well, you won't release him. Well, you can't talk to him and then just let him go.
We can't charge him until we've got some kind of evidence. Assuming he was responsible.
Of course he's responsible. Who else could it have been?
Carl. Your colleague asked us to sign this,
Okay.
saying we acknowledge that by going to Paul's funeral we could be exposing ourselves to danger. He thinks it's best if our friends and relatives keep away.
Would you like them to come? What about your dad?
Not well enough.
Friends?
We don't have any. As soon as we went on the run from Clayton, we just stayed away for their sakes.
So you haven't been in touch with anyone for 11 years? And have you always lived on the boat?
Yeah.
All because we told the court we'd seen Clayton shoot the girl. If we'd kept our mouths shut, we'd still be in our house, living a normal life, and Paul'd still be alive.
Please, love.
This isn't the time. But at some point, I think we need to talk about you trying to get compensation. I know it's been 11 years, but if we can prove you were given assurances of witness protection which weren't honoured...
It wasn't about assurances. It was about a corrupt officer giving Clayton the address of our safe house.
Which is probably all the ground you need.
You're right. This isn't the time. I'll get back to the engine.
I'm sorry. He blames me.
For what?
I was the one who made us give evidence against Clayton. So as far as he's concerned, it's all my fault.
You mustn't think that. I don't know how you've survived, Sue. Going on the run for all this time. You said you were shot at?
In a safe house. A few days after Clayton was found guilty. We were sitting in the front room watching the telly. And someone came up to the window. You could see him. It was broad daylight. He just marched up to the window and started shooting. There was glass everywhere. On our clothes, in our hair. I looked at Carl and there was blood pouring from his arm. I had cuts on my face.
I know we let you down, Sue, but things have changed. They really have. If you'd let us take you somewhere safe, we could start trying to get your lives back on track.
I don't care anymore, Jackie. Not now we've lost Paul.
I got you a mobile phone. My number's on the box. That way you can keep in touch. Let me know you're all right, and I can let you know how the investigation's going. I'd better go. 2 officers are going to stay and watch the boat. Make sure you're safe. Okay.
Yeah. What was the case?
Sorry?
Your colleague this morning said you weren't available because you were about to go on leave, having worked on a big case. I just wondered what it was.
I was family liaison officer to a mother who lost her baby boy.
Lost?
He died.
Oh, how old was he?
11 months.
Oh.
We thought it was a cot death, but 1 or 2 of the doctors weren't so sure. And she ended up being accused of smothering him.
Was she taken to court?
Sorry. It's a text from my DI. He wants me to call. Gov?
I've finally spoken to Harry Clayton in person. He insists he doesn't bear a grudge against Sue and Carl for testifying against him, and says he's got an alibi for when Paul was murdered. He was best man at a friend's wedding.
Well, we obviously need to get that verified.
Of course, but what we know for sure is that he had nothing to do with wrecking Sue and Carl's boat. Some youths have been caught setting light to another narrowboat near Smethwick. The diehards or diehard crew. Apparently they've been responsible for a lot of vandalism in and around the canals, and it looks like they were responsible for damaging Sue and Carl's boat.
Well, how do we know that?
They'd filmed themselves on a mobile, using a machete. So it's unlikely the damage was anything to do with Harry Clayton.
What about the CCTV from the hospital?
You can see Paul leave, but no one's following him. You better update Sue and Carl.
Okay. So that's why the word die had been sprayed all over the boat. Must be the Die Hard crew's tag. We know cannabis was found in Paul's system. Drug dealers operate along this stretch of the canal. So it's possible he could have stopped to buy some gear and ended up getting into a fight. So maybe Harry Clayton is a changed man after all, redeemed by 11 years of daily Bible classes, courtesy of Wakefield Prison. Yeah. Well, like the DI said, best keep an open mind.
The family liaison officer, Jackie Hartwell, has some unwelcome news for Sue and Carl, whose son has recently been found murdered in a canal.
Everything okay?
I just had to phone my DI, sorry.
Any developments?
There are, yeah.
Have you arrested Harry Clayton?
It's probably best I speak to both of you.
Okay.
Shall we get back onto the boat?
No, I'll get him to come out. Carl, will you come here a minute?
She goes to get her husband while I try and work out exactly what I'm going to say. Well, I think I know what I'm going to say. I'm just not looking forward to the way they're going to react.
Can you hear me?
What?
Jackie's got some news.
Have they arrested him? Have you got the evidence you need to charge him?
Not yet, no.
I thought you said you'd got some news.
We've found out Harry Clayton didn't have anything to do with vandalising your boat.
What?
Some youths have been arrested damaging narrowboats on the canal near Smethwick. They'd filmed themselves on a mobile phone, breaking into yours. And it's possible Clayton didn't have anything to do with Paul's death. He says he's got an alibi.
That doesn't mean anything. He could have got someone else to do it.
Possibly.
Possibly.
You and Sue were the ones who testified against him, not Paul.
But killing Paul's a way of him getting at us.
I'm not going to listen to this. It's possible he didn't have anything to do with it. Dear, oh dear. Sue, split the ropes, your end. We're leaving.
Carl? Oh, the engine's still playing up.
It'll get us a few miles. Come on!
But where are you going?
Where no one can find us.
But I need to know where you are.
Why?
So I can keep you informed of the investigation's progress.
What investigation? You obviously think Harry Clayton's innocent.
I didn't say that. We are still waiting on DNA results. We're still looking at CCTV. If Clayton or one of his associates was responsible, we'll catch them.
We kept away for the best part of 11 years because he was trying to have us killed. And the minute we come back, our son gets murdered. It's not rocket science.
Carl?
Will you get on board?
But where are we going?
Just get on the boat. Come on. Come on, you. Come on. Yes!
Carl, I need to know where you are.
We don't trust the police, which means we don't trust you.
Have you got the phone? Sue!
Yeah!
Call me and let me know where you are and that you're safe.
We're not going to tell you anything.
At least let me know you're okay. Promise? Sue! I'm sorry I'm late, Reese.
It's okay. What can I get you?
I can't stop. Something's come up. I've got to get back to the station. Can we meet tomorrow?
Yeah, of course. I wanted to talk about the journalist, that's all. Why don't I just call her?
Okay. I'll give you a number. She's called Liz.
And she's writing an article about Yvonne.
Yeah.
Can we trust her?
I don't know. I just think this is our chance to set the record straight. For Yvonne's sake. People are saying so many cruel things about her, spreading so many lies. You were Joe's father. You know she was a good mother. You can give your side of the story. Oh, I've got to take this. Sorry. Gov?
Where are you?
Well, 5 minutes away.
I got your message. Where did Sue and Carl say they were going?
They wouldn't tell me.
You're joking.
I gave Sue a mobile phone, so hopefully she'll get in touch.
You shouldn't have let them go.
I'm sure they'll be safe, Gov.
I'm not talking about their safety. There have been one or two developments. Just get here as soon as you can.
Developments?
We're treating Carl as a suspect.
Gov? I've got to go.
Are you working on another case?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were taking a break.
I decided in the end to keep working. Try and move on in that way. Will you let me know how it goes with Liz? You okay?
Yeah. I found a diary.
Sorry?
Yvonne wrote a diary. She must have started it after she was arrested. She writes about baby Joe and the way she was treated during the trial. She also mentions you. She says you abandoned her.
Sorry, Gov.
Our family liaison officers arrived.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, right. First things first, Harry Clayton's alibi has been confirmed. He was indeed best man at a wedding on the afternoon of the murder. He still insists he doesn't have a grudge against Sue and Carl for testifying against him. In fact, he said he's exceedingly grateful that if he hadn't gone to prison, he'd never have seen the error of his ways and found God. He's left us a DVD of his best man speech. Is that right?
Talks about religion for nearly 20 minutes.
So if any of you feel the need for spiritual sustenance...
I presume we're still checking out the movements of Clayton's known associates?
Of course.
Any news on the DNA?
Forensics are still trying to get a profile from skin found under Paul's fingernails, but it's low copy from being in the canal, so they're not promising anything.
And we've gone through all the CCTV from the hospital.
Yeah. Steve?
We're still looking through the footage from the high street.
Okay. Now, one interesting development concerns a phone conversation I've just had with the victim's grandfather. The old man's seriously ill in hospital, but he managed to speak to me and told me about his boatyard. Been in the family for generations. He's desperate to keep it going, but says Carl, his son, wants him to sell. Been a bone of contention for years, apparently. So much so that the old man told his solicitor to exclude Carl from his will and leave the yard to his grandson, Paul, on the understanding Paul kept it going, which he says Paul was very keen to do. Did Carl mention the boatyard at all?
No, Gov.
Did he say he'd fallen out with his dad?
He just said they'd come back to the area because his dad was very ill.
And what did Carl say he was doing at the time Paul was killed?
He said that he and Sue had had an argument, so he went for a walk.
I think we need to ask him one or two questions. Unfortunately, we don't know where he is.
I've passed on the details of Sue's mobile. All she's got to do is switch it on and we can get a location from the GPS.
Okay.
And uniform have got a description of the boat. My guess is they've gone up towards Wolverhampton.
Oh, well, hold on. I've just been looking at a map. There are 2 canals going down to Birmingham, one up to the Black Country, a spur going off to Walsall. It's like Spaghetti Junction. Someone in the canteen was saying there are more canals round here than there are in Venice.
They were still having engine trouble. They won't get far.
Well, let's hope so.
I don't think Carl did it, Gov.
Why?
Paul suffered so many injuries. There must have been more than one assailant.
So why did he suddenly rush off without telling us where he's going?
Because he doesn't trust us. He feels we've let them down. I'll let you know if Sue calls me.
I hear you've been meeting Yvonne Fraser's boyfriend, Reese. Apparently he phoned Liz. Told her you meet him occasionally for coffee. Is that true?
I have done. Once or twice, yeah.
Once or twice? Why?
Dunno.
Are you sure you're not making the same mistake that you made with Yvonne? No?
Sorry, Gov. I don't really know what to say to that.
Go. We found something on the CCTV. Just keep looking at the top of the screen.
Bit crowded.
Focus here. Just above the litter bin.
So is this the shopping precinct looking south?
And if Paul was walking back from the hospital towards the canal, he'd cross left to right, top of the screen, which is exactly what he does do. See?
Yeah.
He's on his own.
Not for long.
We watch as Paul appears and manoeuvres his way across the stream of shoppers, stopping politely to let a family with kids pass in front of him before carrying on. And then, just as he's about to pass out of view of the camera, he stops, as if someone's called out his name. He sees who it is, turns, and hurries off in the direction of the canal, quickly followed by someone coming in and out of the picture.
Stop it and take the picture back. Freeze it. Well, I think we know who that is, don't we? Jackie?
Yeah. It's Sue. It's Sue Gruff. Sue's calling me.
Right, quiet in the office, please, so Jackie can hear. Shh. Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Jackie?
Sue, I'm glad you called. Are you okay?
No.
Why?
Oh, Carl went out and he hasn't come back. He shouldn't have been this long. He said he just needed some wire for the alternator.
I'll come right over. Where are you exactly? Are you calling from the boat?
Yeah.
What part of the canal are you on?
He won't want me to say.
Sue, no one's going to tell Harry Clayton or anyone where you are. I promise. We just want to make sure you're safe. When did Carl go?
3 hours ago.
So we need to find him. We need to make sure he's okay, yeah? Sue?
We came down towards Birmingham and went under the M5. We're not far from the flyover.
South of the flyover?
I can still see it.
We'll be there as soon as we can. And whatever you do, don't leave the boat.
Okay.
They're on the canal cove just below the M5.
Right.
Carl went to get something for the engine and he hasn't come back.
Well, let's hope he hasn't done a runner. Keys?
The CCTV's hardly what you'd call high definition, but we won't be needing digital enhancement to see who it is. It's Carl, hurrying after Paul, clearly annoyed his son isn't stopping to talk. And the time on the footage is 13:02, just minutes before Paul was murdered. So, there we have it. Motive and opportunity. All good reasons for treating Carl as a suspect.
How did we get onto the towpath?
There. There's the boat, Gov.
Okay.
He hasn't come back.
And that's Sue.
Still no sign of him.
We're just coming.
You take her onto the boat, Jackie. I'll stay out here and wait for uniform.
Okay.
If she's got any information about where Carl was going, let me know.
Gov.
My guess is he's done a runner.
He's been gone over 3 hours. Something's wrong.
He'll turn up.
He said the shop were 10 minutes away.
Well, which one was he going to, did he say?
It was electrical. He was going through old receipts for the address. Oh, look. I think he said it's on the main road, going towards Smethwick.
You said he needed cable?
For the alternator.
The pathologist said that the cuts and bruises to Paul's hands indicated fought back, which means Carl would be hurt or marked in some way. But from what I've seen, he isn't. I still don't think he did it. There's a good half-mile between the high street and the canal. Plenty of opportunity for them to go their separate ways and for Paul to bump into someone else. No. If Carl has done a runner, it's not because he's guilty. There's got to be some other reason.
Carl is still missing and his son's murderer unknown, but Jackie Hartwell thinks she's getting closer to the truth.
Gov, the address of the shop's on this receipt.
I'll drive over there now. Any news, I'll let you know.
I'll stay with Sue on the boat.
Just don't let her know we're treating Carl as a suspect.
They're gonna call us as soon as they get to the shop.
Okay. I've made some tea. Got some milk this time. Carl's going to turn up and it's going to be a complete waste of time.
That's all right.
Oh, I can't stop shaking.
Do you think there's a chance he could have gone to the hospital to see your father-in-law?
He wouldn't be gone this long.
The DI phoned the hospital and spoke to your father-in-law this morning.
Was he well enough to talk?
He managed to answer a few questions about Paul's visit. And then he started telling the DI about his boatyard. Said it was one of the oldest family businesses in the country.
Yeah, 1820s. Started off building coal boats, and then when carrying ended, they changed to making pleasure boats. They just kept going. Got a picture somewhere. 3 generations standing by a new boat. George, Carl, and Paul when he was a little boy. He loved that yard. Used to drive them mad, having a little kid getting in the way.
So if things had been different, do you think he'd have ended up working there?
Probably.
Sorry.
It's okay. Can you phone your DIs, see if they found him?
He said he'd call as soon as there's any news.
Oh, you didn't finish telling me what happened in your previous case, where the mother was charged with smothering her baby. You said she was taken to court. Was she found guilty?
No, she was acquitted.
So she was innocent?
I think so, yeah.
How did she cope?
She didn't. She was already in pieces, so I knew what a trial would do to her.
So you were with her all the time?
I was a family liaison officer up until the time she was arrested. Then I had to end all contact. That's the protocol.
So you never saw her again? Sorry.
She said I was the only one who understood what she was going through. That she felt better when she was with me. So when she phones me after the trial, wanting to meet up, it was hard to say no. So I saw her a few times, but when my DI found out, he said it wasn't a good idea and that I should stop. So I suggested to her that we try not meeting for a week, see how it went, and I didn't hear from her for about 5 days, till I got a call from a uniformed officer saying she wanted to see me, and that if she couldn't see me, she'd jump. So I went to see her, but she still jumped.
In front of you? In front? Oh, I'm sorry.
I tried talking her away from the edge. I'd had some training, so I knew some of the things you're supposed to say, but she wasn't there. Not really. Wouldn't look at me, wouldn't respond to anything I asked her. She just stood there, looking down, never said a word. The only time she spoke was when she jumped.
What did she say?
I thought you were my friend.
Hello?
Go. Any news?
Have you found him?
We have, yeah. I'm sorry. A man's body has been found in the canal about a mile from here. And from the description, I'm almost certain it's Carl. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
It becomes a habit. Wishing you'd done things differently. Beating yourself up when things go wrong. Going back over things. Trying to work out what you should have done. If I hadn't let Sue and Carl rush away on their boat, if I'd found some way of stopping them, Carl'd still be alive.
Is there anything you'd like? Cup of tea, glass of water?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
All right if I start?
Yeah.
For the benefit of the tape, those present: D.I. Sanders, D.C. Hartwell, Duty Solicitor Ian Coles, and Sue Patterson. Sue, this is a map of the local canals, so I wonder if you could show us the route you and Carl took earlier today. As you can see, you could have taken two possible routes. This one, round by Oldbury, or this one.
Sue?
A number of narrowboats are moored along this side of the canal, and a resident has told us that he heard the raised voices of a man and a woman on a passing boat at around 2:15 p.m, which would have been roughly the time you and Carl were passing, had you taken this route. And this is also near to where we recovered Carl's body.
Sue? Sue, please, speak to us.
We'll just keep her in a cell until she's willing to talk.
I wouldn't mind having one more go, Gov.
Yeah, we'll keep to the rules. Steve can join me. I'll just ask her straight. Did Carl confess to killing Paul? And if so, did you react violently? Whatever she hit him with must have been heavy.
Gov?
The back of his head looks like it was hit by a cannonball.
Gov? They've sent over a partial DNA profile from the skin found under Paul's fingernails.
Oh, right. Let's see.
As I say, it's only partial, so it might not be enough for a conviction. But it's detailed enough to exclude Carl.
I beg your pardon?
It's not Carl's DNA.
Let me see.
A couple of minutes, all right?
Thanks, Sarge. I, got you a tea. I'll put it here. Oh, I'm not really allowed to take part in interviews, so I thought I'd say goodbye now. We've identified Paul's killer from a DNA profile. Well, it's a partial match for a local drug dealer. It may not be enough for the CPS, so we're probably going to need more evidence. We found out Paul had been given £200 by his granddad, so we think he took the money out from his pocket to pay for the drugs and was then attacked.
So it was nothing to do with Harry Clayton?
We don't think so, no. Do you want to tell me what happened? Sue?
I just snapped. He went on and on at me. And I just couldn't take it anymore.
Why was he going on at you?
He'd never wanted us to say we'd seen Clayton shoot that girl. I was the one that made us testify. So being shot at and having to run away, it's always been my fault. And this morning, on the boat, he actually started saying that it was my fault that Paul had been killed. He went on and on, saying that if I hadn't made us give evidence, then Paul would still be alive. He only stopped shouting at me because something got caught in the propeller. So when he bent down over the stern to see what it was, I was so angry. I hit him.
What with?
I picked up a mud weight, hit him as hard as I could, and he went straight down into the water. I knew everything was my fault. I just didn't need him to keep telling me. What's going to happen?
You need to tell D.I. Sanders what you've told me, and then you'll be charged.
With murder?
After what you've gone through over the last 11 years, there's There's bound to be a number of mitigating factors.
I was going to tell you. I just didn't want his dad knowing.
Hello.
Jackie.
Gov?
Sorry to call late. I just thought you might want to know that Sue Patterson's confessed on tape and is being remanded in custody till the initial hearing.
I just hope the defence team asks for a psychological assessment.
I'm sure they will. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all I phoned for, really. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, it may also interest you to know that I've finished with Liz.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, Gov.
Well, there was I thinking she wanted me for my body, when all she really wanted was information for her article on Yvonne Fraser. Actually, that's completely unfair. She's lovely, but didn't feel like we were ticking enough boxes. Oh, she said Yvonne's boyfriend was blaming you for letting Yvonne down, me for intimidating her, and then he apparently broke down and started blaming himself for having a go at her for not taking the baby to the doctors. It's not going to go away.
Cases like that never do, Gov.
No. Okay, well, I'll leave you alone.
Thanks for calling.
I still think you should accept welfare's offer and go on leave. We don't get offers like that every day.
I'll think about it.
Right. Night.
Night. I suppose I could always hire a narrow boat for a week. The DI said there are more canals round here than there are in Venice. Not sure there are quite so many 14th century palaces, but there might be a few places worth visiting. I'll go in tomorrow and see how I feel. See if there are any new cases. See what's happening with Sue Patterson. And I'll make my mind up at the end of the week.